Take cover. Ahí vienen los wokosos. Take cover now. Los wokosos. Ahí vienen.
Come on, y'all. Come on, y'all. Come on, y'all. It's Lamp.
Yeah, but isn't this the unplugged version? I don't know. I think it's the unplugged version. All right, Paulie, let's go.
The pearls have been clutched. Gasps all over the nation have been heard, and Los Wokosos have struck back on LatinX. It is a LatinX Wars. Latino Slant. Don't forget to comment, like, and make sure you are subscribed because YouTube likes to do wacky things like unsubscribe people. So make sure you are. Hope everyone is well. Attack of the Latinx Part 2. Wokosos strike back. So I want to get right into it. When we did our first video a few days ago, good Lord, who knew there would be such a backlash, a tongue lashing, all of the above. So in this video, there's two things we're gonna cover. We're gonna cover the pushback argument from the Wokosos and more criticism of the initial tweet sent out. Actually, we'll get to that, but let's talk about the Wokoso backlash. Here's a couple of items coming from people as far as what should be deemed more important for us to discuss. The thought police are in control after all. People are being jailed, beaten, and killed in Cuba, Nicaragua, Venezuela. Latinos are disproportionately affected by COVID. Dreamers still wait for permanent status in the country they love. I just don't have the bandwidth to give a damn about Latino, Hispanic, Latinx stuff. Well, a lot of people do. And a lot of people have that bandwidth to address all those issues that you just addressed and to do something about those issues in their own daily lives. And yet they still have the time to define who they are, what they would like to be called, how they would like to be addressed, especially when outside forces such as political campaigns come to their barrio to talk to them about what is best for them. So I would say this is a very important issue, what we like to be identified as, called as. I don't know, call me silly. It's a sign of respect. I wish people were as upset about children in cages, certain politicians in office, corruption, cost of living, poverty, and forced sterilization as they are about using the term Latinx, but to each their own. Whoa, okay, well, again, a lot of those issues, day-to-day life, are out of our control. We can do our part. We can vote. We can support different causes, and we can identify ourselves. We can say what we'd like to be called. It's so funny that when there's no pushback from the Wokosos when the pronouns are implied, when the X's are implied, because it's so important to certain groups, and it is, and I support that. However, not everyone agrees, and that's okay. The thought police will have you saying you have to agree. You have to agree with what we tell you what to agree with. And you can't argue about this because there's so many more important issues in the world, Paulie. Don't you know that? Well, I'm so glad the Wokosos are striking back and letting us know what's more important. And by the way, several of these issues I take dear to heart in my daily life and have contributed to certain causes which are none of anyone's business. Just as much as who I vote for the journalist in question that started this thing, and again, with these videos, I don't want to call anyone out. It's not my style. If any of the friends and whatever out there in media land want to come and discuss and have a good discussion and good discord, I'm all for it. But the journalist in question, after the backlash that she got, said, "I've never faced such a tidal wave of right-wing hysteria for using the word Latinx this afternoon." And in her tweet and in her work for this LA Times article. So that met with some heat as well. A lot of people who quipped back on this, including myself, we're not right wing. I'm not a Republican. So it's interesting that not only this, that this person who's saying that, but other people as well, saying that because you are responding so aggressively as to this word, you must be a hardcore right winger. You're alt right. And I found 3 really interesting comments in regards to this, in regards to exactly what that last statement was. Criticism is difficult, trust me, I know. That being said, I'm politically progressive and respect those who aren't fond of Latinx. It's unfortunate so many of our liberal friends, including you, don't want to hear a difference of opinion. We need to learn to listen to one another. Common sense. But thought police, it's not based on common sense or discord. They don't want, they really don't want disagreement. Follow this way, and this is the only way. Another person says, I am a communist and I dislike the usage of the word because there is no possible way originated from a Spanish speaker. As far as I know, there isn't a single native Spanish word ending in NX, and the construction is extremely difficult, borderline impossible to pronounce. It's one of your own. Lastly, vast majority of people in the Latin community hate the term. I personally find it offensive and racist, and I'm not a Republican. I'm a registered Democrat. And if you're in the Latin community and you said, I'm not going to take you, and if you're in the Latin community and you said, I'm not going to take you seriously, is that where the quote ended? Let me double check. I think there's more. Not going to take, if you're in the Latin community and you said, I'm not going to take you seriously. Okay, well, there you go. There's the other end of it, right? Is that the criticism is coming from the left. The criticism is coming from the central, and yeah, the criticism is coming from the right, of course. But I think that's all people locked onto. Not that people who fall in line with a lot of their own beliefs and core principles disagree, and that's where we gotta just figure this all out. As far as one thought, it's just not going to happen. It's just not how people are. I can tell you, the movie Gladiator is the greatest movie ever given an Oscar, and there'll always be 100 other people saying it was the worst action movie ever. Russell Crowe didn't, I know it's a really lame example, but it's an example. Something so popular. There's always going to be someone that just doesn't like it, that doesn't agree. And I think at the core, that's what we're talking about here. First part of it is that, yes, of course, there are other global issues, local, regional, state issues, countries issues that are really important. And I say we can discuss and argue about those as well at the same time, as far as what we call ourselves And then there's one point I like to bring up, I heard in the discussion, is that at no time have you ever seen the Latino community more unified, 97% unified, that they don't like the term Latinx. And I leave you with that.
Come on, y'all. Come on, y'all. Come on, y'all. It's Lan.
Yeah, but isn't this the unplugged version? I don't know. I think it's the unplugged version. All right, Paulie, let's go. All right, listen, y'all. Just go ahead and let the guest play. Come on, jeez. That's better.